We're here with Tarsha Askew, head volleyball coach and head women's basketball coach, but we're going to talk about the SIAC West Cluster that was held here inside Daniel Chappie James Center. Held last Friday and Saturday. Tigerettes go 2-1 in their first 3 volleyball matches of the season. Coach, what was it like to host this event? You had great attendance here, and then the third match that you had against LeMoyne-Owen was something spectacular on Saturday morning.
It was it's something that we do probably every 3 years. It rotates around to 2 different schools each year. We did it 3 years ago, and this was our year to host it again. It's a very challenging event because you have to have a lot of people in place to do the score and keep track of everything. But for the most part, it ran smoothly. The games got behind a little bit, had a couple of injuries, but for the most part, everybody got their games in. And also the game with LeMoyne was an epic game. It went down to the wire, the very last play. So, you know, some of the games will be like that. So I'm glad we just came out on top with the victory.
Talk a little bit more about that LeMoyne-Owen match. Y'all were down 2-0, and then next thing you know, the girls just had anger on their faces, and then they were like, all right, we're going to get this back. We were sleeping because y'all played at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then really there was nobody here because I think everybody was preparing for the football game that night in Georgia.
Right. It's you know, that was my part, scheduling, because I like to, for the teams that have to travel, not to have to get up at 8 and then they traveled in. So I scheduled us to play that 8 o'clock game, not realizing that we had to play the late game the night before, and everything kind of got bagged up. So that's what put us kind of in a bind on that. But they did. They woke up during that third game, and we were able to win that one, to stay in it, and win the next one, and then also pull out the 5th game.
Now talk about the team that you lost to, Kentucky State. They went 5-0, and they beat every team in the cluster here, but they look really good. And I don't think they had a match where they went past 3 sets. You're going to Frankfort, I believe tomorrow is a travel day where you go up there for the SIAC Volleyball Crossover. Talk about the team that they have, and just talk about the work that they put in this weekend down here.
They, you know, they typically have been one of the top teams on the west side. They have a couple of down years, but I see this year that they are back with a strong team. However, though, I do feel like we can play with them. We played with them the first game and kind of like died down. And a lot of that was due to the fact that they had played games prior to this tournament, and this tournament was our first game. So when we meet them again, we'll play them again in October. I'm expecting different results.
Talk about the crowd that was here during y'all's match against them. They were the loudest I've heard from a volleyball crowd in at least a couple of years.
That was the loudest I've heard since I've been here. All throughout the years, it was almost a basketball crowd, basketball excitement, and the kids really played off of that for that first match. And I feel that we lost the match 26-24. Had we won it, we probably could have rolled some of that momentum on to the other games, and maybe also could have pulled off the upset. But again, it was I think conditioning and the fact that that was just our second match of the season played a major part in that.
Now talk about you going to Kentucky. You got this big crossover coming up, going to see more teams in the conference. Just talk about traveling up there. This is your first road trip of the volleyball season, and then you're getting to see more teams, and then it's not necessarily a road environment, but it's more of you playing teams in a neutral territory. This is
I call it a monster tournament. We go, first of all, you have to travel to Frankfort, Kentucky. That's, you know, an all-day affair, all in itself. And then when you go there, you're facing some awesome opponents. Everybody on the East has a decent team, strong team. So every game is going to be, we're going to have to bring our A game to compete. And then eventually, you know, we're going to win games. I think last year we went maybe 3-3 up there, so we're looking for greater things this year.
This is head volleyball and head women's basketball coach Tarsha Askew. More on volleyball at GoldenTigerSports.com.